I won't be here for the opening, so will you make sure?
Yep, I'll make sure.
What time do you think he's going to go on? If we're here by 10, we won't miss it. Chris.
Who?
Chris is the teacher tonight.
Oh, if you're here by 10, you won't miss him. No, I got a shot going here, so let me get to it. Should I edit that out? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We're talking information, not.
So, if you're elected public official, you get a deferment as well. If you're a minister, you're also within a certain church that has a structure and tradition, then you get an exemption as well. The other exemption, conscientious objection, is the biggest and most important exemption from the draft that everybody has heard about. I'll explain what that is. On Form 9, at the top of the list is a deferment for conscientious objection. That means conscientious objection to participation in the military. If you fulfill the requirements on that by having a personal appearance before your local draft board, and you convince them of your deeply held moral, ethical, or religious beliefs, and if you explain how you come about these beliefs to their satisfaction, and that you're sincere, then the local draft board will vote on that question, and after your personal appearance, and you make an exemption as a CO. It takes a few steps of and some work to become a CO, because it's not an easy. It's one of the most difficult exemptions under the selective service system. And that requires some work and some documentation beforehand. And that's what every young man should be doing right now, is thinking about war and the issues of war, and whether they would participate in the military right now, and what their values are in life. Because if they cannot kill another human being in any situation, or as in a military situation, then most likely they would be CO, and it's something to think about. People should start preparing that now. Start preparing their documentation. Start their own CO file along these lines. You have to be conscientiously opposed to war in any form. That is, you cannot just be opposed, say, to the Persian Gulf War or the Vietnam War. It has to be all wars, whether they're civil wars or local wars, wars of intervention, or police actions, or whatever, declared wars, whatever it may be. It's all wars you have to be opposed to. And that's the first step. You have to also document this to show what your beliefs are. That is, based on what values you have, what moral, ethical, or religious values you have, what training and belief you have along these lines that says you cannot participate in the military. And you have to document this. You need letters of support from individuals that you know. These could be teachers, friends, clergy, people in organizations, community peace organizations, or other organizations that you know, that will write letters of support for you that will be used to present to the local draft board that will document your case.
Can you get this done in the 10 days that they give you?
It's very tough, very, very tough. I mean, if you're real fast about it, and it's very difficult. This is the main reason why we say seek a draft counselor now and start working on your CO file, because this takes some time. It takes some time, going over the 3 questions they ask in the CO claim, and getting these letters of support, and to think about these questions. Prepare for your personal appearance. 3 questions are: what are your beliefs? What's your training? Where do you pick up these beliefs about not wanting to participate in the military? What are these beliefs, and how do you live these beliefs now? You have to show that this could be on Christian moral teaching or religious teaching of all kinds. It could be such things as belief in love as a powerful force within the world, greater than hatred and killing. It could be love of humanity, and you cannot kill fellow man. It could be Christian teachings of Christ, or Buddha, or of other religious teachings. It's something you have to go through and see what that has informed with you personally, and become conscious of these and write these things down.
Could it be talking to a draft counselor?
Yes, definitely talk to a draft counselor about this.
Well, I mean, could it be actually talking to the draft counselor that gave you your feelings of, or your belief in?
Well, it's more than that. It's probably, that's helpful in the process. That's a step in the process, but it should elicit a lot of these moral, ethical, or religious beliefs.
Do I have to prove an element of time? That is, have I had to believe this for 10 years, or
There's no time period.
no time period?
No time period. I think sometimes it helps if you've shown something over years, certain beliefs over years that have built this up, instead of just a recent thing like all of a sudden, as of this date, the day after the war started, I started believing these things.
Yeah.
It might be helpful, and that may be.
So everyone who is
but it may not help.
15 years old should go to their preacher and say, "Preacher, I'm against war," or go to their whoever and say, "I'm against war. I'm against killing."
Well, yes,
and start that right now then.
Well, they should do something along those lines. I mean, along those
And every time you talk to someone of who's in a position of power, your school teacher, your principal, your preacher, or your CYO director, you say, "I'm against war and killing," and have it documented.
Well, yeah, I mean, it isn't a question of just like the letters of reference and a resume you can pick up, you start to put together. But yeah, I mean, you talk about these things, you just don't say, you say I'm against war, but you got to talk it over with the person and say, yes, I'd like you give me a letter of reference, these are my beliefs on
Well, that comes up when you get drafted.
what?
Quit. No problem. Walk right over there, sit down, and you can start talking with me.
Alright.
We're doing good. Talking about CS stuff.
Oh, good. Are you recording?
Yes, we're on right now, so you can keep talking.
Okay. Talking about letters of reference and support. Now, you need these letters of reference from different people that you know. And yeah, it's something you start working on now. You can't wait for a draft to happen. Maybe when you're 15 years old, it's a little difficult because, what experiences do you have, life experience that you have, that you can go over all these things and decide these big questions. It's really at age 20 that you're drafted. And certainly if you turn registration age, you start thinking about these things. And build up a CO file, getting letters of support from people you know. Because you can't do that in that 10-day period. It's very difficult.